Today we're honored to welcome Garrett Young to the show today. I'm very excited to have him on. He is an author about how mattresses can also impact our health and what should we do to look for when we purchase these things, right? Because sleep has a huge impact on our overall wellness. And a lot of times the mattresses we're sleeping on, they actually are doing some harmful things to our health for 8 hours every single night, 1/3 of the day. So it's very important to kind of focus on these things and just be aware so we can make more conscious decisions that actually can improve our health in kind of a passive manner, right? Because we don't necessarily have to do much after the initial purchase, but after that, it can improve our health or we're not. So these decisions that we make, we just kind of set it, and then our health can kind of boost over time just by living our lives, right? So very happy to have Garrett on the show today, share his insights and wisdom on sleep and mattresses. So how you doing today, man?
Hey, doing good. Thanks for having me.
For sure. So I'm very excited to hear your story and how you got into sleep and mattresses and everything you're doing today of service.
Oh yeah, well it all started when I was a mattress salesman, got promoted to a mattress manager, and during that time, I just saw people make a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of pitfalls that you can make as you're buying a mattress. And I didn't realize, I saw that people made those mistakes. And then after I was a mattress salesman, I would get calls from family members, neighbors, friends that were like, "Hey man, we're about to buy a mattress. Can you come with us?" And so then I realized, oh my gosh, there's so much anxiety around mattress shopping. And I was like, and perhaps they're justified because it is true. I think people liken mattress shopping to other kinds of shopping. They think it's like shopping for electronics or that it's shopping like clothes, and it's not. It truly is unique. And then the added burden of it is that I would estimate the average person only goes mattress shopping about 5 times in their lifetimes. And so because of that, people aren't, they don't really know what the pitfalls are. And I think you really nailed it in your intro. You kind of mentioned that the mattress, I don't know exactly how you said it, but I think of the mattress as kind of sneaky. You have a mattress, and at first it's great, and then you blink, and 15 years has gone by, and you're waking up, and maybe you don't feel so hot. Maybe you got some shoulder pain. Maybe it's a back thing, something like that, and you don't actively realize it's your mattress. And so that's one thing that's insidious about your mattress, is the fact that you don't realize how bad your current mattress has gotten until you get a new one. And the company that I worked for, they were smart. They actually would have us call customers back 3 weeks after the sale just to see how they're doing. And I tell you what, 9 times out of 10, they're like, "Oh yeah, we feel so much better. We should have done this years ago." And that was a very gratifying phone call. And I feel like they almost did that. They almost had us do that just so that we felt better about ourselves as salespeople, because we were usually on the negative receiving end, because we saw people with their anxieties, their worries, their distrust. And so it was so nice to be able to just call people and have them say, "Oh, thanks, man. We feel so much better."
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask, is it all right if I ask you what position you sleep in when you sleep at night, Anthony? Is that too
Yeah, I mean,
personal?
typically, I shift a little bit, but it's like I usually go on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. Side sleeper, definitely. If last time I checked, I think most people do happen to be side sleepers for sure.
Yeah.
And that does have an impact on the type of mattress that you pick. One very common pitfall that I'd like your listeners to avoid is people tend to associate firmness with good back health. And the truth is, if you're a side sleeper, you shouldn't really be buying anything that's firmer than, say, a medium, right? You should be getting like medium to soft. If you're a back sleeper, that's more to taste. I think you can kind of pick out what you want to pick out. That usually back sleepers tend to get a medium mattress. They also seem to be happier sleepers in general. And then the minority are going to be your stomach sleepers. And they kind of need a firm mattress. If you're a truly dedicated stomach sleeper, you just don't want to get yourself into that sway back position. And so this is one thing that I think everybody needs to know before they go mattress shopping. And so that's something that's covered in chapter 2 of my book. Is just like sleep position and what you should and shouldn't be buying based on your set sleep position. I do want to also point out that a lot of people that think they're stomach sleepers are actually side sleepers. They come into the store and they say things like, well, I'm not totally sure. I'm kind of like angled. My belly is kind of angled inwards towards the mattress, but I'm kind of on my side. I think you should treat yourself like you're a side sleeper if you're in that minority. And I also have encountered people that say, I'm not really sure what I am. And I would implore your listeners to figure out what your sleep position is before you ever set foot in the store. And there's a list of other, I actually have a checklist on my website. It's for free. Anybody can go to my website, get this checklist of just things you need to think about before you ever go into the store. Simple things like, are you getting a king or a queen mattress? That one's pretty obvious. Are you, how high up is your support system? Because I've seen it happen where people kind of have a platform bed that's high, and then they pick out a mattress that's 14 inches thick, and the next thing they know, they have to basically climb a ladder to get into bed, and a lot of people don't like that. And so just being aware of simple things like that. I also think people need to check the support structure under the mattress, and that's another one of those sneaky things that, maybe somebody landed on the bed a bit hard, and now it's actually your box spring that might have a divot in it, and that's why you're waking up with aches and pains. Or perhaps you have a foam mattress that's on top of slats, and those slats are more than 3 inches apart. Or maybe the slats aren't what they used to be, or one of the slats kind of is kind of bowed in. So please take a look at your support structure, because it's entirely possible it's not the mattress itself. It's the monster under your bed, so to speak. So watch out for that, guys. Yeah.
So could you talk about the importance of mattresses and some potential harms that a lot of people are kind of getting from the average mattress? You want to speak to that at all?
Yeah. Harm from, do you want to talk about new mattresses or old mattresses? Because the old mattress is, I think that's pretty obvious, right? The old mattress just isn't giving you good support.
Right.
And I also think pillows can be an issue there too. I think some people, they're trying to make do with pillows that aren't making them happy. They're just buying cheap pillows. And there's nothing wrong with a cheap pillow if it's what makes you happy. But if you're talking about a new mattress, then I would caution people against possibly memory foam. Now, most of your typical memory foam mattresses are going to be made out of polyurethane. And that is a petroleum-based product. And so I know that probably some of your listeners might get the ick from the idea that this is a petroleum-based product right there off the bat. But probably the thing that I might want to caution people against are VOCs, volatile organic compounds. And this is mainly a memory foam mattress thing. So when you get a memory foam mattress, you're going to take off the wrapper, and for the first, couple weeks, it's going to have this kind of a chemical smell. And so those are the VOCs. We would normally just refer to this as off-gassing. So the thing that I like about memory foam is the fact that, man, it is good support. It is, anytime I had a customer that had a hip replacement, shoulder issues, back problems, they were able to kind of, fix it, or at least make the situation better, thanks to the way that memory foam cradles the body. It is heat and pressure sensitive. So there is something magical about it. But I think from a holistic standpoint, I got to tell people to watch out for VOCs. And if I understand the issue here correctly, is it's like while your mattress is off gassing is when it's at its worst. But the idea is that you might be inhaling endocrine disruptors. And again, I'm not an expert in this specific topic, but if I understand this correctly, if you breathe in too many endocrine disruptors, it's going to affect the correct functioning of your hormones potentially. So that's what I would encourage people to watch out for. Now, people might say, well, I'll just get a coil mattress. And I think there's good options for that. Getting a coil mattress, first of all, you're not going to have anywhere near as much memory foam inside the coil mattress, even if they did use an actual memory foam. But it still might use a memory foam. So there still might potentially be VOCs there. So this is the part where you ask me, what can I do to protect myself? Right? So one thing is if you're in the situation where if a family member gave you a memory foam mattress, or they gave you, that's something they used for a couple years and then now they have an extra one, or they're moving or something like that, happens all the time. I recommend getting yourself a mattress encasement. You guys are like, what? Do you mean a mattress protector? I mean a mattress encasement. And a mattress encasement is something that covers all dimensions of the mattress. So a mattress protector is something that you just throw over the top, and it's good because it is protecting your mattress from sweat, oils, and all of those things that can accumulate in the mattress. So if all you have is a protector, it's a great start. I prefer the mattress encasement because I think that it is possible that might protect you from some of these VOCs. Please don't quote me on that, but it just seems logical to me that if we get the whole thing surrounded and covered, then it's just the best kind of protection you can get for your mattress. Some other things that you can do to protect yourself from the VOC problem is purchasing a mattress that is all natural latex. And so if you're going to go the latex road, you can purchase something that's GOLS, which is Global Latex Standard. It started in 2012. And it's 100% organic latex, and there's no polyurethane allowed in the mattress. So that's one thing you can do. Another good option, I should say, if you want to get a coil mattress, then great. Well, first of all, that's going to probably be more affordable. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So if you don't have a lot of aches and pains, and you're just looking for a good night's sleep, and you're trying to save a little bit of money, I would recommend going with a traditional coil mattress. And again, if you want to go the holistic road, they have a certification for that as well. This one has been around since 2006, I believe, and it is Global Organic Textile Standard. So you're basically talking like cotton, wool, and it's free of toxic chemicals. I would also add that if they are at the factory and when they're doing the inspection and they see that they're using like toxic glues and things like that, they say no, we're pulling this certification. And so it seems to me that they're pretty thorough in what they're looking for there. So I hope I gave people some good options there. The GOTS, the Global Organic Textile Standard, is a logo that kind of looks like a white t-shirt on a green dot. And so be advised, like I think before you go, if you're hunting for this, know what the logo looks like, because there's a lot of pretenders out there. So you'll want to know what the actual logo looks like, and then you can completely watch out for that. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. Any questions about that, Anthony?
No, it makes sense. I mean, it's my understanding, like, the off gassing, yeah, it's there, but then it kind of diminishes over time, but it's still kind of there throughout the whole mattress. Is that right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you consider the fact that a mattress is kind of like, it's a sponge essentially. Even if you get a coil mattress, it's still moving around like a sponge. So you're still going to get some air moving in and out of the mattress. And so there again, that kind of goes back to, I think the encasement can help with that, keeping fewer particles going out into the air around you. And I should be fair in saying that your latex, if one of your listeners goes out and purchases a latex mattress, I would say that is going to smell too. The smell is a lot nicer though. So it's gonna, because it's a natural material, it comes from the rubber tree, right? So it's gonna smell, the memory foam mattress, it isn't bad. It's almost not even noticeable after a couple of weeks. With a latex, what I've heard, I've never actually owned a latex mattress myself. I've always been a coil guy myself. But if you do get a latex mattress, supposedly it's going to smell like a vanilla, a sweet cream, and a little bit like a rubber band, as you might expect. But of course, those are going to be natural odors. And this is the part where somebody's out there thinking, well, if memory foam is so great for support, what am I supposed to do to get that same kind of support, for your neck, for your spine? And to that, I would say, go pick the right kind of latex. So if you're somebody that's thinking about a latex mattress, there's two well-known types of latex. There's Talalay latex and there's Dunlop. I hope I'm putting the emphasis on the right syllable as I say Talalay. It's been a long time since I've heard that word, but yeah, Talalay latex is going to be closer to a memory foam type of support. It's not, the good thing about latex, there's another good thing about latex, is the fact that it doesn't have that quicksand feeling. And I'm sure for those of you out there that have laid on a memory foam mattress, there's kind of that weird moment where the mattress molds itself to your body. And that's one of the perks of latex, is it doesn't do that to you. There's not that weird quicksand kind of feeling. And so Talalay latex, because of how it's made, there's kind of a freezing process in the middle of it. And so the air bubbles are evenly dispersed throughout the whole thing. And so because of that, it sort of cradles the body. And again, I'm a little bit weak on the science. It's been a minute since I've read up on this. But basically, that's one thing that's tried and true, is your Talalay latex. The price point's going to be a little bit higher, but it is going to be closer to like the same kind of good support you're going to get from a memory foam. Again, if you like a coil mattress, but you're just really on about trying out a latex, go for a Dunlop latex, and that's totally fine too. Yeah. Let me see here. What else did I want to? This is something I would like people to consider, because it's one of the biggest money savers. I think a part of the reason why people have anxiety is obvious, right? You're going to go in there, possibly spending $2,000. It's a huge purchase. One thing that people might want to consider, and this is like location by location, but a lot of mattress stores have clearance mattresses. And so this is the part where you ask me, what is a clearance mattress? So they have a sordid past, Anthony. I'm just going to tell you right out the gate, a clearance mattress was either a mattress that was on the showroom floor, or somebody took it home for a couple of weeks and then said, oh, this isn't the right mattress for us, and then they brought it back. Typically, the companies have a sanitation process, but the scary thing about clearance mattresses is they cost money for big box stores to hold on to. So it's entirely possible that mattress might get thrown away. So from a save the earth standpoint, from a not trying to be wasteful standpoint, you might be helping the planet a little bit by purchasing a clearance mattress. And then your listeners are now wondering, well, how do I know what happened to that mattress? You know, in the 2 weeks it was at that somebody's house, or worse yet, you know, what happened to that mattress while it was on the showroom floor? You know, anything could have happened to that mattress. And to that, again, you're going to get so tired of hearing me say mattress encasement. Yeah. My recommendation is, you know, put a mattress encasement on it. And the beautiful thing is when you do that, you never have to physically touch the mattress. And so that actually brings me to another point, the showroom floor. So if you're going mattress shopping and you're on the showroom floor, my checklist actually says make sure you bring a pillow or a pillowcase with you. And I think people have read my checklist before and they're like, why would I do that? And it's because people go to try out mattresses. They put their head on these pillows that are on the showroom floor. Guess what the person did before you, and the person before them, and the person before them? You're literally putting your face on a pillow that has been used. It's a public use pillow. And if that doesn't give you nightmares, I don't know what else will. And so that's why, and so the company I worked for, they tried to, they actually gave us these pillow napkins, and we were trying to get people to use it. And what's funny is people's reaction after we gave them a pillow napkin, they were like, oh, some people were like, oh my gosh, we've been mattress shopping at that store, at this store, and we've been putting our face on these gross pillows. So that's one of my big recommendations is, you know, it doesn't have to be a fancy pillowcase. You can just bring an old t-shirt, just something to throw over the top of this pillow just to protect your face from all the potential germs. But that way you can actually go through the store and try out the mattress, and it's in a realistic way, right? You don't want to be trying out mattresses without a pillow, because that's not realistic. And I also advise people, when you're trying out mattresses, you should be trying them out in your sleep style. So Anthony, you said you're a side sleeper. You need to, when you're trying out those mattresses, you need to be trying them out on your side. And let me ask you this, Anthony, do you have any anxieties about like laying down on mattresses in public?
No,
Are you pretty comfy with it?
Like in public?
Yeah. Like if you were going to a showroom floor, would you think you'd be able to get yourself in that comfort zone to actually like lay down on a mattress for 10 minutes?
I probably would. I mean, if it's just like a one-time thing.
Yeah. And it totally is. It's a one-time thing. You won't have to do it for another 10 years. I also advise people to dress comfortably. You know, if you were to walk into a mattress store dressed in your pajamas and you had a teddy bear with you, I think the salespeople are going to be like, these people know what they're about. You get a respectful nod from some salespeople, because so many people come into the store and they sit down on the side of the mattress and say, this one feels good. You know, because it feels weird to lay down in public. I get it. But I implore people, you know, this is a serious purchase. Try out every possible option when you're there. Try out every possible option, and spend a good 10 minutes. Some people say even more. Some people say 15 minutes, 20 minutes on a mattress. I think that's a little bit much. I think you can figure out what you need to figure out after about 10 minutes on each mattress. And that's another thing I need to clarify, is if you go to one of these big box stores, sometimes there's literally 100 mattresses on the floor. It's overwhelming. And I think, again, if you know your sleep style and you know the type of mattress that you want, then that helps you to eliminate like 80%, 90% of the options on the floor. And that's actually a good way to approach your salesperson too. You go up to your salesperson, you say, okay, this is, I've got a hip that's sore sometimes. I know I need something that's in the medium range because I'm a side sleeper, medium to soft range because I'm a side sleeper, and we know for sure we don't want to buy memory foam, or we know for sure we don't want coil. And so in so doing that, then your salesperson, even if you got the most disappointing salesperson in the world, and some of them are pretty disappointing, some of them aren't very well trained, they would still be able to point out, oh, okay, you're a stomach sleeper, so this is the firm mattress, that firm mattress, and this firm mattress on the floor. And so ideally, you would have limited yourself to only 3 options on a sales floor that has 50 to 100 mattresses. And so then you can test those out. And no matter how disappointing your salesperson might be, they wouldn't be able to ruin the process for you. What I like about that too is if you give a salesperson the reins, I should explain to you why I know this. I know this because when I was working as a mattress professional, the company I used to work for would send us out for mattress espionage. And that's every bit as bad as it sounds. We were supposed to go to other stores, pretend that we were a customer, and just get in touch with their sales process. And it was disappointing. It was really disappointing. They don't have much training. Even their knowledge of the products was kind of limited. But then it was just a lot of sales pressure. It was like, I was there for, 10 minutes and it was just really cheesy and a lot of sales pressure. And it was just like, what do I got to do to get you into this mattress today? Oof. Yeah, it's haunting. And so I like to think that if you go up to a salesperson with a little bit of prior knowledge, then you kind of are more in control. They're not going to just walk you over to the most expensive mattress on the floor because you already told them what you want. You asked for the order, and I think that puts you in a position of power for sure.
Yeah. Mattress espionage.
Well, it was good because I realized it showed us how much effort they put into us. I'm sworn to not use mattress. You'll notice I haven't mentioned any mattress brand by name. I don't mention any. I dearly love the store where I worked. I think they're one of the better mattress stores, but I don't want to influence your listeners one way or the other. And that's a promise that extends to my online course, my book, all that stuff, because you already get enough of that from the media, from every sleep publication that there is. Everybody's talking about, oh, my product's so good, our product's so amazing, you're gonna get the best night's sleep, and nobody's talking about the customer. And even the books that do, this is another inspiration for writing the book, was the fact that most of the books do the exact same thing. They talk about, this coil, this metal density, this coil, this foam, and it doesn't help the customer at all. It doesn't help them through the process. And in a lot of ways, it can be a difficult process. In fact, I might even go so far as to say that when you get your mattress, be prepared to be disappointed. If you had to guess what the disappointment is, Anthony, what would you guess? I want to hear some guesses.
Perhaps it's not what you thought it would be. I mean, maybe there's some things that you're overlooking you didn't really know about. There's certain things like that.
Sure. Well, that is one thing that's, it is entirely possible that when your mattress gets there, it might have a different textile on it. So literally the mattress that you saw at the store, now it looks different. So that can happen. Absolutely. Another thing is that the mattress on the showroom floor has taken a lot of abuse. All those people sitting on, laying on, kids. I mean, on a Saturday and Sunday, a mattress store is a madhouse. Kids have been jumping on those beds. It's a good way for them to stay entertained. So the point is that mattress has had the crap beaten out of it, and when your new mattress arrives, your untouched, pristine mattress, when it arrives at the house, is it going to feel the same as the one on the showroom floor? Absolutely not. I used to get calls from customers all the time saying, "This is not the mattress. This is way too firm." And so that's another reason why you might be disappointed when the mattress arrives. Another thing are delivery people. It's not, I think that the people that are delivering your mattress, I think most of them mean well. I met the people that were delivering the mattresses, and speaking for my own company, they weren't my favorite people. Let's just put it that way. I wasn't super thrilled at the idea of having like that delivery guy that kind of has a surly attitude in my house. So one thing that I do recommend is, if it's at all possible, I prefer, or I should say I recommend, that people try to pick up their own mattress. If you have a cousin, a neighbor that has a pickup truck, if you want to rent a U-Haul for the day, you'll potentially save money on the delivery fees. But the reason I'm recommending this is just, I got phone calls every once in a while that the delivery guy tracked in dirt in the house, or the delivery guy forgot to take away the old mattress, or the delivery guy, this one was one of the worst ones. Delivery guy knocked over a $1,000 vase that was in the entryway. Nightmare. And so again, this is something I recommend, is just follow the path of where your mattress is going to go as it enters your house. And again, if you can, maybe just pick it up yourself, or arrange for somebody you know and trust to pick it up, just because there's a lot of iffy situations out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting, man.
Yeah.
I heard of those mattress cases as well. Very interesting.
Oh, good. Yeah, the GOTS certification that I mentioned extends to those as well. So if you're looking for the holistic side of things, I really recommend getting yourself one of those encasements that is GOTS certified. I would also warn people that when you buy a mattress, it's not like buying an electronic. And by this I mean, when you buy something that's electronic, it typically comes with a warranty. And I might even go so far as to say that the length of the warranty defines the quality of the product. And so as people buy mattresses, they expect the warranty to protect them. And in all due respect, they really don't do much, guys. The warranty is prorated, first of all, which basically means that if you've had that mattress for 6 years, and then even if you get approved for a warranty, which usually people don't, then it's going to be, so you bought a $1,000 mattress, you've had it for 6 years, it had a 10-year warranty on it. So now the actual value of that mattress is only $400. And so even if you get approved for a warranty issue with your mattress, which you probably won't, they're also going to limit you where and how you can spend that credit. So if you had again, I don't speak of mattress brands, so I'm just going to say Kit Kat as an example. So let's say you bought a Kit Kat mattress, and it's been 6 years, and it's not comfortable, and you got a warranty, and they gave you a $400 credit. You take that over to only this one store where you're getting the exact same type of Kit Kat mattress, and then you find out that they actually are having $500 off sale. And so as you purchase your new mattress, you take that credit that they gave you and you throw it in the garbage. Yeah, the warranties don't help much, and they don't cover comfort either. There's nothing, you can say how uncomfortable you are until you're blue in the face, and those warranties, they don't protect you. Which is one reason why I'm going to say something a little controversial here. because a lot of people are going to go into, if anybody's listening to this podcast, they're going to go into a mattress store and they're going to try out a pillow top mattress. And they're going to say, oh my gosh, this pillow top mattress feels so nice. It's magical. I can't wait to buy this pillow top mattress. And I'm going to say, maybe don't buy a pillow top mattress. And here's the reason why. You're basically buying a mattress with a separate topper attached to the top. And as you're getting in and out of bed, that fluff in the top of the mattress is moving over to the sides. It's getting weaker in certain areas. And so one of the types of mattresses that I saw come back the most frequently are pillow top mattresses. And if you don't believe me, you can go on YouTube and you can see videos of people that demonstrate how to remove, they're basically showing people how to cut away the top pillow top portion of the mattress. So my recommendation is save yourself that trouble and anguish. And maybe if you like how that pillow top mattress feels on the sales floor, buy the non-pillow top version of that mattress and then buy yourself a topper. And then that way, if your topper starts to wear thin in 3 or 4 years, you just replace the topper. And the coils are still fine. The rest of the mattress is still fine. But it's making that divot occur. So I'm not crazy about pillow top mattresses. And this is the part where you might ask me, well, what's the rate of return on a pillow top mattress? And I'll tell you, as I was writing my book, I was trying to find that data. The unfortunate truth is none of that data exists. I can't tell you because it would require like some kind of a law to be passed that all the major box stores share that data. And I don't think that's about to happen anytime soon. You know, they're not going to say, oh, well, this mattress was returned, 5% of the time, or this mattress was returned 20% of the time. And so, unfortunately, I don't have that kind of data. There are customer service reviews, which I do think gets you a part of the way, but I don't think you get the whole picture with customer service reviews.
Yeah.
Have you ever laid on an airbed or a water bed? Have you ever tried that out, Anthony?
I have not.
Never have. I struggle with the idea of airbeds, to be perfectly honest, because my parents had one. This is where I got to come clean. My parents had one for 25 years, and they were perfectly happy with it. As a salesperson, I did not like selling it because it came back. It was a mattress that had like a 75% return rate. And my best guess of why it came back is that it just wasn't as supportive as a spring, as a foam, as a latex. Those types of materials actually are reaching up to, fill in the curves of your body, basically. They're filling in the curve of your spine. From a water or an airbed, I'm thinking that those don't do that as much. But at the same time, I know people that are happy with those beds. So I want you to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Figure out what works for you.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now you talk about sleep quality as well. So we got that, but what can we do to actually improve our overall sleep, to actually feel rejuvenated in terms of the basics?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff I'm going to say here are there things you've heard before. Watch your caffeine intake. Stop taking caffeine after 2 p.m. I think is the generally accepted rule. For me, it's like no later than noon, but that's because I'm a caffeine sensitive person. You also want to make your sleep schedule as routine as possible. So you want to be going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time. Some sleep experts say, I'm thinking of Dr. James Moss on this one. Some sleep experts say you should never have to be woken up with an alarm. I think it's a little extreme, but I see where he's coming from. And I think 5 days out of 10, I will wake up before my alarm. So I think I've got that one down kind of. So yeah, routine sleep schedule, low lights, less screens. So if you have like low lights in your bed, so this is about an hour or two before you go to bed. You should be turning down the lights, and if you're hanging out on the couch, turn the lights down. It's a good time to start reading. It's a bad time to start watching a movie or getting on your phone. You definitely want to avoid those blue lights. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else. If you do incur a sleep debt, I think the sleep community is a bit divided on how to repay that sleep debt. Some people say, "Oh, just sleep more on the weekends." So some other people say, "No, you should try to go to bed sooner." Speaking for myself, just pay that sleep debt however you can. Sleep when you can, as you can. I think obviously it's a bad idea to take a nap between 4 and 6 p.m. for obvious reasons, because that's going to make it so hard to get to sleep that night. But yeah, if you got to make up your sleep on the weekend, my theory is just it's better than nothing. And I think that's why there's this big civil war in the sleep expert camp as to what's the best way to approach that, because obviously we're going to incur a sleep debt at some point or another. Something's going to wake us up in the night. And so the big question is, what is the best way to pay the sleep debt? Melatonin. I know that I would encourage people, if you are trying to get your sleep schedule back on track, melatonin works, because it's not something that speaking for myself, I don't actively feel melatonin when I take a melatonin, but it does almost guarantee that I am going to be asleep within the first 10 minutes of putting my head on the pillow. And I would encourage people, don't make melatonin something that you have to take every night. I think it's something that you do for a couple of days, maybe a week, and then you stop it, because you've gotten your sleep rhythm back. You're going to bed at the same time, you're waking up at the same time. Did I forget anything, Anthony? Anything else that you would recommend for getting a good sleep?
Yeah, I mean those are great. I mean, I like to talk about basically sleep in a cold, dark room, right? Because going back
Yes.
to melatonin, and we have to understand that it is a get good sleep hormone, right? So it helps you move throughout your sleep cycles and everything that is required, right? But it's actually
Sure.
produced in a dark environment and a consistent time, right? And a lot of us, we have street lights coming in, we have light, perhaps in our room we have lights. So a lot of times we're disrupting these things. Right? Blue light is the most disruptive of all the spectrums. But essentially, we have to keep in mind that if you get out some blackout curtains, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of blocks out everything that is coming in. Like you don't want to be able to see your hand in front of your face, essentially, right?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
when we talk about like the moon, the stars, that's a totally different thing. Like the lux is totally different from these artificial lights. So that's another. And the temperature is important too, because we undergo a process called thermal regulation. Like everywhere we go at night, the temperature drops, right? And what happens if you sleep hot is that your deep sleep gets actually blunted in a sense. You're not able to get deep sleep and go through all the cycles. So, I mean, there's interesting data showing like 65 degrees, but I just like to say don't sleep hot.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
lastly, I would say get as much light as you can in the morning, because that sets up your circadian rhythm. And your
Yeah.
circadian rhythm is basically your hormonal clock that is released throughout the day, right? It sets up yourself for a good night of sleep by getting high quality light in the morning. That's actually regulated through the suprachiasmatic nucleus, right? It's in the hypothalamus in the brain. And what that means is that we have these regulations throughout our day. And if we're not in sync with the planet, we're not having these rhythms. It's a lot harder to do anything, honestly, including sleep. So
Yeah.
that's what I say.
Well, I would even take it a step further, is that the quality of your REM. So even if you slept in a room that was like a little bit warm and there was a blinking light on the wall, and let's say you slept through the whole night, let's be honest, your REM was probably a little bit compromised because it's not just staying unconscious all night. It's about the quality of those sleep cycles that you're talking about as well. I really am a big believer in blackout curtains. I would say I'm somebody who travels around a lot, and this is a good hack that I've learned. You're in this room that you have very little control over. Maybe the room doesn't have curtains, or the curtains aren't that great, and there still is a lot of light flooding the room. Pick up or bring with you aluminum foil. I know this is weird, but it is one of the best ways to get the light out of the room. You know, you put some aluminum foil on the windows, on the doors. I know this is weird, but yeah, you put the reflective side, the non-matte side, facing out, and it stays in position pretty well. So that's if you're desperate to get yourself into a dark room and you don't have the ability to bring blackout curtains with you, there you go. Aluminum foil does the trick. Yeah.
For sure. I actually heard of that as well. I mean, another thing, like if I had to say, it would be like EMFs or electromagnetic frequencies, like being aware with all these devices in a room. Like I wouldn't just like have like your computer and your phone just all lined up there. Like do what you can to at least turn it off or something, right? Because all these are going to interfere with our sleep as well. I mean, a lot of them they produce lights and things like that, and it can just be distracting overall. To like a lot of us, we have like a lot of thoughts, so just kind of being aware of that it can be important too.
Yeah. Well, it's I keep hearing more about the EMFs and things of that nature. I would just I haven't studied up enough on that. But again, like you said, I try to stay away from my electronic devices because my brain is going to be the thing that won't shut off, right? I'm thinking, why didn't my friend text me back, or why isn't this project working the way I want it to? So just, getting those devices away from yourself, one way or another. Absolutely. Absolutely. I also have heard that if what I've heard is correct, you actually want to, it might be beneficial to put your devices on airplane mode. And that might be one of those things that might protect you a little bit in that way. But unfortunately, when it comes to EMFs, that's outside my area of expertise. So I can't weigh in on that, unfortunately.
All right, Garrett, this has been awesome, man. I appreciate you today for coming on the show, sharing your story with us, and what to look out for in terms of sleep and mattresses, right? Because we spend about a third of our life in that position, right? So it's important. It's not just something to just look over in a sense, right? And if we improve our overall sleep and wellness overall, I believe sleep is essentially a glue that holds your health together, right? It's responsible for everything. It's like all the amazing nutrition and movement and everything that you do gets assimilated through that time, right? So it's really important. We have to kind of protect our sleep in a sense, actually focus on what matters. So thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, so if we want to get connected with you and your work, where can we go?
Oh, yeah. I have a website, www.mattressshopguide.com. Mattressshopguide.com. From there, you can purchase the book. You can get my checklist for totally free. And coming soon, I'll be having an online course. I know not everybody's a reader. And worst case scenario, if you're in a really complicated, like maybe if you and your spouse can't agree on like what mattress to get, I do consultations as well. So if you need me to be a marriage counselor, I can do that as well personally.
All right, man.
All mattress salesmen are marriage counselors as well, oddly enough. Anyways, thanks for having me, Anthony.